Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the show. Tonight we have a good one here. It is race number 1 of the Postma Flooring Super Late Model Tour here at the Richmond Raceway. Qualifying already wrapped on up, and Zach Nichols walking away with the quick time. So let's go through tonight's starting lineup. Pete Dillon in the 7 car will lead the field to the green flag. To his outside, making his return back on Tuesday nights, now behind the wheel of a super late model. It is the 011 of Jaden Kratacci. Row number 2 be made up of the 35 machine of Hayden Swank, and to his outside, a veteran of the league. It is the 88 of Chuck Darling. Rounding out the top 5, that would be the 86 machine of Stephen Hoffman. 6 going to the 48 of Tim Rogers. 7th place is this 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. 8th going to the 97 of Riley Duncan. Starting 9th is the 38 of Dave Payne. 10th going to the 025 of Matt Kemp. Starting 11th is the 91 machine of Andrew Payne. And then 12th, our quick time qualifier here tonight, is the 44 of Zach Nichols. Just like we saw last season, we'll see it this season all night long, or all season long, excuse me. Top 12 cars gonna be inverted. From there on out, it is Dev McDonald in the 18 car rolling off 13th, 14th going to the 98 of Ian Martin. 15th is Stephen Rochford in the 66. 16th is Chase Swank in the 155. Jeff Pogo in the 199 will start 17th. 18th going to Matt Vade in the 777. Alex Orions in the 8 car will roll off 19th. 20th going to the 2 car of John DeMeester. 21st is the 45 car of Andrew Hardings. 22nd is Jeremy Watkins in the 90. 23rd is Donald Castillo in the 37. And then old Scooter in the 9 car will roll off 24th. Then we head to our last starters here. 25th going to the 5 car of Eric Holly. 26th is the 22 of Jamie Leach. Dan Dill in the 11 car will roll off 27th. 28th going to the 51 of Ron Hart. Zach Hoyer in the 13 machine will start 29th. And 30th is the 41 car of TJ Hassan. So that will do it for the starting lineup here. A full server out here tonight. 30 super late models getting ready to do battle. And I tell you what, it is an awesome sight to see this many race cars out on the track. And I tell you what, folks, I am glad we are starting here at a big track, because 30 cars out here ready to do battle. It's gonna be a fun one to watch. 125 laps gonna be the distance out here tonight as we get ready to rock and roll here. So Pete Dillon in this 7 machine will lead the field to the green flag. And then, like I said before, it's Jaden Kratacci to his outside, as I believe everyone's still trying to get sorted on out. A lot of drivers taking the end of the longest line here on race number 1, just trying to make sure they got their cars figured out the way they like it. And let's see if we can get a kind of a wide shot here of just the amount of race cars out here tonight. And this field ready to rock and roll. They know they got a long season ahead of them. 13 weeks gonna be the distance out here this season. But to this season, something new. We do have a drop week, so we will drop whatever the lowest finishing or lowest points earned for our drivers. So that's gonna make the championship that much tighter. As last season, the late model stocks came down to 1 point. What will happen this season? The iRacing Pace Truck heads off pit road as Pete Dillon in control. He'll fire on off, and we will go green flag racing here for the Postma Flooring Late Model Stocks Tour. The field will fire down into turn number 1. Pete Dillon by himself further on back. Everyone hanging on to their positions. Everyone hanging on for the most part. Oh, contact here. The 38 machine of Dave Payton sideways. Tim Rogers around, and we got cars all calamity going into turn number 3. And that's a tough break to a couple metallic race cars here as Dave Payton involved. Same with the 48 of Tim Rogers. I think both those cars getting the worst of it here as we get our first caution of the evening. So with this, we will slow the field on down, but I believe some contact there between the 38 and the 97. So we'll have to see how that shakes on out here. Quite a few cars already down on pit road here, getting some damage repaired, and not the way they wanted to start their night, as it looks like the 97 tapping on the roof there. He'll go to the end of the line, so that means Riley Duncan claiming that caution, saying, hey, that was my bad there, I'll take full responsibility for it. So here in ASRC, that will drop him to the end of the longest line. If you don't claim something and you're found at fault, a big time points penalty, 15 points deducted out here tonight. That's like losing 15 positions out on the racetrack. So it's better to be safe than sorry, especially if you're going for a championship here this season. So a lot of cars down on pit road. You see the damage to the 48 of Tim Rogers. Dave Payton down there as well. That left front looks very damaged. Let's try and take a look here at the left front of the 38 here. And yeah, you can see that tire pushed way on in. His night might be done here early. Also down on pits as well, the 025 of Matt Kemp. Kemp with a lot of left side damage as well to that race car. Looks like Dan Dill will get that car rolling there in the 11. We'll try and continue the race out here tonight. So out in front, it is Pete Dillon here at the moment. Jaden Kratacci, Hayden Swank. No changes in the top three. Then Stephen Hoffman up one position. Tanner Tallarico up two into the top five. As Chuck Darling looks like didn't get the start he wanted. He fell back to P number 6 here. As we will turn off the lights here at the Richmond Raceway. Give him the one to go, and we'll try and turn him loose here once again. Didn't get too long of a green flag run there. Incident lap number 1. Let's hope these drivers can back it on down a little bit and get into some green flag racing here at Richmond. So once again, going to be the same front row. It's going to be Dylan Kratacci on the front row. Race pace car here heads down pit road. And now Pete Dillon in control, can fire off at any time. We'll do so now. We'll bring back out the green flag here. Field will dive down into turn number 1 here. Pete Dillon out in front by himself, then side by side for second as Jaden Kratacci does hold off Hayden Swank. So top 3 going to be single filed out. Now Stephen Hoffman stuck up in lane number 2 here. Here comes now the 91 car and the ASRC house car, that being piloted by Andrew Payne out here tonight. And here comes already making his way through the field, quick time qualifier, the 44 of Zach Nichols. Nichols already up into P number 5. It looks like issues for the 1 car out here. Tanner Tallarico slow on the apron. Looks like able to keep some speed in the race car, but out of the way, or trying to at least be, as the rest of the field trying to get on around that 1 car. Out in front though, new race leader Jaden Kratacci out in front. He's leading the way now over Pete Dillon, and then a cluster of cars right behind Dillon being led by Hayden Swank. Zach Nichols trying to get P number 4 away from Stephen Hoffman. Those two will go side by side. Nichols will clear now, so Zach Nichols started 12th, already up into 4th here before double-digit laps. Further on back here, some movers. Andrew Harding's up 11 positions from where he started. Harding's into the top 10. Ron Hart, another one with some big-time moves. He is up 19 positions with that lap 1 incident. He finds himself running in the 9th position here in the 51. So it looks like when it's all said and done, about 25 cars currently left on the lead lap. 26 will make it out onto the racetrack as Dan Dill currently sits about 3 laps down, as Zach Nichols already up in a P number 2 will try and chase down his buddy of Jaden Kratachi, as Nichols, a man on a mission to start the night here. A tenth of the way down, an already quick time qualifier up in a P number 2. Everyone else throughout the field mostly single file. This is the battle on the speedway. In front of them, Ron Hart taking over P number 8 as Jeff Pogo, Tanner Tallarico side by side. This is a battle for 15, so it looks like the issues on the 1 car gone away as he is up to song once again, trying to take away 15th away from the 4 car of Pogo. Then a little bit behind them here, battle for a top 20 position here. Devin McDonald, Jamie Leach goes side by side, as it looks like McDonald will get clear. So Devin McDonald had to pit there during that last caution, got some damage repaired. You can see still some damage to the nose and the right front corner of the 18, but trying to get back some of that track position out here tonight. Further back to the battle, Tallarico able to get around Pogo. Now working his way on Stephen Rochefort. Rochefort, last season's street stock champion, out here trying the big bad super late models this season, as it looks like Tallarico will get clear, will make his way back up into 14th as the field very, very spread on out. You can see in the relative all the way from first to about 25th, 13 seconds already separated in this field out here tonight. Jaden Kratachi, Zach Nichols starting to check out from the field. Then right here, kind of a battle still brewing between these 4 cars, all kind of jockeying for position. No one really taking on over, and no one really pushing the envelope. They all know they got a long way to go here tonight. As we see Andrew Payne, let's try and ride on board with the driver of the 91 here as he tries to make it on around. And I tell you what, a very wide FOV by myself. I mean, very stretched out, but kind of gives you an idea of what you're looking at out here tonight. As we see Payne trying to work over the 86, couldn't quite do it that time. As we had an incident on lap number 1. From there on out, so far, green flag racing to make up the laps as old Payne big time loose. This could open up the door now for Chuck Darling, as Darling will sail it up on the high side, get a little bit loose, but he has some momentum. Chuck Darling trying to get his way back into the top 5 here. He has a long way to go though to the outside of the 91. Looks like Payne a little bit loose once again down the front stretch, and that's what these guys will have to deal with all season long. These super late models, I want to say about 250 more horsepower than the late model stocks that all these guys were used to, about running 2 seasons of those cars, now switching back over to the supers. And oh man, issues for Pete Dillon, losing a lot of spots very quickly for the 7 car. He will keep that thing rolling, but I want to say loses now about 5 positions, so I believe he probably got loose as well as he keeps that car rolling at least, but big time moment there for the 7. Up in front, Stephen Hoffman, Andrew Payne both getting around Hayden Swank. Now Payne working over Stephen Hoffman, as 23 laps in the book out here tonight. Taking a look here as, oh man, heads up. That is Eric Holly sideways down the backstretch, and that will bring out our second caution of the night. Does tag the inside wall. Car doesn't look too damaged besides the very center of the nose for the 5 car, but That will bring out our second caution of the evening here on lap 23. So the field will slow on down, and the advantage Jaden Kratachi, Zach Nichols had will all be erased as the field will catch the back of the pace car here and slow down the tempo for the second time here tonight. About a fifth of the way already through the race here tonight, but still a long way to go. Now just going to be under 100 laps. These drivers here tonight do have one set of tires over the wall, but fuel very, very close. So we do see some takers down on pit road. The first to lead them, Andrew Payne, probably just going to be some fuel for the 91 car, as well as most of these guys coming on down. It's definitely too early to slap on some tires, but maybe by the time we get the next caution, it might be about that time, depending on when these caution flags fall. Yandale was 3 laps down, does get the lucky dog this time by, so that'll put the 11 car now only 2 laps down, so we'll have to hope for a couple more cautions before it's all said and done. As this will kind of jumble up the field a little bit. Andrew Payne pitted from the 3rd position, but with the amount of cars staying on out, it looks like Payne will probably restart right around the 11th position. So losing a few spots, but could have been a lot worse for the 91. A lot of cars coming on down. Kind of a split strategy on staying on out and then just filling up with the tires, or not taking the chance and saying, hey, if this goes green to the end, we are good in the fuel department. So with those guys pitting, it kind of shakes up a lot of stuff. Ron Hart, we saw he started deep in the field. I want to say about 28th. He currently sits in the 3rd position. Andrew Harding's another one, a big mover at the moment, up 16 positions. Harding will restart in the 5th position. And then TJ Hassan started in dead last out here tonight. He currently finds himself in the top 10 with the shakeup of some cars coming down pit road. So lights go out around the Richmond Raceway. We will go green next time by. Jaden Kratachi will elect the outside lane, and it's 2 good buddies on the front row ready to duke it on out. Kratachi will have control, but Zach Nichols, he is a tough one to fend on off. As here we go, the iRacing pace truck heads down pit road. The 11 car in control. The 11 car fires on off, and we go back to green flag racing. Kratachi will clear Nichols by the time they get into turn number 1. Top 3 single filed out. Then further on back, Andrew Harding's able to get around Chuck Darling. Here comes Riley Duncan as well. Duncan involved in that first incident. Now making his way back through the field. He finds himself in 5th. Chuck Darling once again stuck on the outside lane. What can he do? As one car sideways. That's the 45 of Andrew Hardings. Hardings will go around in the 4th position, and that will bring out our 3rd caution of the evening, as the field will get slowed down once again, as it looks like Hardings gets that car restarted, refired, whipped down around, and Andrew Hardings had a lot of track position, gonna lose all that right there. So the field slowed down for the 3rd time here tonight, as with this one, don't foresee too many people coming down pit road. So we'll go to a quick commercial break on the other side. We'll get ready to turn it back loose and go back green flag racing. Still under the caution flag conditions here for the third time here tonight. This time by, I believe we will get the 1 to go signal, so Kratachi can choose. Once again, going to choose the outside lane, so the rest of the field going to re-rack, restack, and get ready to turn him loose once again here tonight. So Kratachi, once again, like I just said, choosing outside here, will have control, can be the first car to fire on off once the iRacing pace truck heads down pit road. Also for that second caution there, the 45 car did claim that with the self spin there, so he will start at the back with him already kind of being there with the spin. But here we go. The 11 car of Jaden Kratachi fires on off, and we head back to green flag racing here at Richmond. Top two single filed out now. Now Ron Hart will try and get clear of Duncan. Will do so off of turn number 2. Now Chuck Darling once again back on the inside lane. Will try and get around the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. Tallarico not having any sort of issues now, able to get clear of the 88. Here comes now Andrew Payne. Payne is the first car for sure, good on fuel if this thing does run on out. Battle for the 8th position here as Stephen Rochford and Jeff Pogo go side by side. Right behind them, Hayden Swank, Stephen Hoffman, Zach Coyer right there as well. Pogo making the outside work. Pogo almost clear, couldn't quite complete the pass though. Further on back here, Donald Castillo trying to make the high side work. He's trying to get around Matt Vaden, doing that as he will get clear in the 37 machine. Right behind them here, Pete Dillon getting around Alex Orions. Same with the 98 of Ian Martin. As further up towards the front here, Andrew Payne now around Chuck Darling, so Payne back up into P number 6. That battle for A still raging on, as it looks like now Stephen Rochford finally able to clear Pogo. Now what can Hayden Swank do in the 10th position? Swank gonna try and set up the 4 car, doesn't get the drive off of 2 that he needed to pull on down. 1 car a little bit loose, that was the 13 machine of Zach Coyer. Coyer trying to hang on to that race car, almost getting split 3 wide there off of turn number 4. Great battles here going on throughout the field as everyone's starting to spread on out, starting to get back into their rhythms here. As we get about a third of the way done through tonight's racing action, Jaden Kratachi took over at about lap 5, has not looked back since. Zach Nichols, though, keeping him honest, but yeah, I'm impressed to see this 37 car wheeling that outside lane. Richmond is one of those NASCAR tracks that has that dynamic surface that once a lane starts getting hot, you can start searching around, and these things definitely have enough grip, definitely enough momentum. You can start searching just a little bit as we see the 37 car once again go to the high side here in 3 and 4. Out in front though, Zach Nichols closing on up to the back bumper of our race leader. Nichols would love some more bonus points here. Top 6 in qualifying, picking up 2 extra bonus points new to this season. You get 2 bonus points as well for leading the most laps and 1 bonus point for leading a lap. So Nichols would love to take over the charge, pick up 2 bonus points as well for leading the most laps out here tonight. Cars starting to slip and slide just a little bit. A loose setup underneath them here tonight at Richmond. And of course, a lot of horsepower. These guys getting used to that. And so far, everyone minding their P's and Q's at the moment during this run. Andrew Harding started at the back of that restart, has made his way back up into the top 20. Now trying to get around TJ Hassan for 17th position. Further up front, though, battle for the race lead. Zach Nichols, Jaden Kratachi go side by side. They might have touched there into turn number 3, but off of turn number 4, new race leader, Zach Nichols, our quick time qualifier, out to the point. Here a little bit deeper in the field here, Hayden Swank under the attack here. He's trying to get around Stephen Rochford off of turn number 2. Oh, one car sideways there. That is the 37 machine of Donald Castillo. Castillo will get that car righted, but not after we throw our 4th caution of the evening. So the field will be slowed once again here on lap 48 as we get another single car spin here off of turn number 2, that is. So the field slowed on up. So about 50 laps completed on these tires. Who comes down and takes their set early? It looks like the leaders will. Zach Nichols will lead Jaden Kratachi, Ron Hart, Tanner Tallarico, Chuck Darling all down on pit road. Everyone else, though, for the most part, staying on out. So with these guys staying on out, it looks like Riley Duncan will inherit the race lead here. Andrew Payne up to P number 2 with this shakeup. Hayden Swank back to 3rd. Stephen Rochford in 4th. And then it is Stephen Hoffman rounding out the top 5 here. So I want to say about 9 cars down on pit road here, as it looks like the first car off of pit lane, Tanner Tallarico. That pit stop quick enough that he might not have taken any tires here for the 1 car. Kratachi will actually beat Zach Nichols off of pit lane here. He has the 2nd pit stall out here, making it work, able to get back that spot, and that could be very, very important by the time we go back to racing. As actually no penalty for the 44. I believe too fast on pit road. So Zach Nichols will go to the tail of the line. That's a tough break, but luckily for him, it wasn't the full field pitting with him, or else that could have been a lot worse for the 44. So I believe this time by we should get the choose here at the stripe and also get the 1 to go signal. So we'll see that, and yes we do. So Riley Duncan gonna choose the inside lane here on the restart. And like I said, folks, lights are out around the Richmond Raceway. We are gonna try and turn them back loose. And some split strategy out in the field here tonight. It looks like Jaden Kratachi will tag onto the field, I believe, in about 15th position. So we'll see what the 11 car can do on those fresh tires. But out in front, it's going to be a Duncan Payne front row restart. The iRacing Pace truck heads down pit road, and here we go. We go back to green flag racing here as Duncan gets a great start on the field. He'll be by himself by the time we dive down into turn number 1. Hayden Swank gonna try and take away P number 2 from Andrew Payne. Looks like he will do just that. Further on back here, let's try and see some of these new tires trying to make their way through the field. 3 wide for maybe a second as Tallarico finally finds an opening down on this inside lane. Out in front though, Riley Duncan leaned the way over Andrew Payne. Payne able to hang on to P number 2. As one car way up the track, that's the 22 machine of Jamie Leach. Leach somehow able to hang onto that race car, but we take a look here at these new tires making their way through the field. Jaden Kratachi already up into the top 10 here, as we'll see them dive down into turn number 1. Oh, one car sideways. That's a 51 of Ron Hart. Heads up as Tanner Tallarico gets a piece. Andrew Hardings does as well, as that will bring out yet another caution out here tonight. As Ron Hart, some damage to that car. Same with the one of Tallarico and the 45 machine of Andrew Hardings. Hardings has yet to get that 45 car restarted. Looks like we'll tow back to the pit lane. So with that, I believe Andrew Hardings does take the claim on that. I believe started with the contact to the 51. Then we saw the 51 there sideways, as the field will slow on down here once again. And you know what? I think if these leaders don't come down pit road, we'll speed things on up, go to yet another quick commercial break, and then get back to racing action here. Looks like none of the leaders down on pit road saying, hey, it hasn't been enough time on those new tires to get advantage. So we'll go to a quick commercial break. On the other side, racing action just before the halfway point here in race number 1 of the Postma Flooring Super Late Model Tour. Alrighty, folks, we come back here with the 1 to go here, so the field re-racked, restacked, and we get ready to go back to green flag racing here, as Riley Duncan once again in control of the restart. Can he get another good start like he did? Yes, he can. He'll fire out of a cannon as we go back to green. Oh, one car big time sideways. That is a 777 as, oh, big time hits. Chuck Darling in there with a big hit to the inside wall, and that will bring out an insta caution right there on the restart. A 777, I think, may have gotten some help, some wheel spin there, and that car gonna be done for the night here with some heavy damage. So right away we get yet another caution out here tonight. As right on the start, that could have collected quite a few drivers, but looks like for the most part, just about 3 or so cars with some damage. You can see Dev McDonald, some more right side damage to that race car. Yeah, that happened right around the 10th position there. As I believe the 98 of Ian Martin tapping on the roof here, so the 98 will go to the back of the field. So that probably means Matt Vade there in the 777 definitely did get some help to turn that car around, and then we saw the calamity after it. And Chuck Darling, man, him and Dave Payton always battle for the hard luck award, it seems like, each and every week. And Darling there in that one definitely got the short end of the stick. So under the caution flag conditions, we see the cross flags halfway home now over halfway home and under halfway to go here tonight, as we've seen kind of a flurry of cautions go on together here. One thing's with the cautions here this season, caution laps do count, so it's just less time these drivers have to make up positions, try and get around cars, because under these caution flag conditions, we're clicking off the laps, and those are less laps these drivers can use. Sun coming back out from the clouds out here, so this will kind of slicken up the track just a little bit more as the field once again will get ready for yet another restart out here tonight. Hayden Swank did get around Andrew Payne, so now it's going to be a Duncan Swank front row restart just after the halfway point here in race number 1. Looks like the rest of the field here back rocking and rolling. So I believe as we sit, about 20 cars left on the lead lap out here tonight. Ron Hart with that damage. I believe first car 1 lap down, but here we go. Riley Duncan away. Not as a killer start as he had before, but will be off by himself by the time they get into turn number 1. Duncan leads the way now over Swank, Payne in P number 3, Hoffman up into 4th, Stephen Rochford, Jeff Pogo goes side by side for 5th. These guys have been side by side a lot of times here tonight. Seems like these guys racing each other a lot. Here comes the new tires of Jaden Kratachi, 3 wide into turn number 1. Man, Stephen Rochford got big time sideways, somehow able to hang on to that race car. Now Kratachi up into P number 5 on that new rubber. Oh, 1 car big time sideways. Zach Boyer somehow able to hang on to that race car. That was a heck of a save by the 13 machine there. Well, now keep an eye on the new tires here. Like I said, Kratachi up into 5th. Zach Nichols in P number 6 here. Everyone else, though, very much spread on out here. As you see, Andrew Harding's here trying to get around the 11 of Dan Dill. Dill started deep in the field here tonight inside the top 15. This battle is in 4th position, so the 11 car currently still sticks in the 14th position. As 20 cars still sit on the lead lap, about 22 cars out here doing laps. Oh, heads up, 22 machine into the wall there off of turn number 4. That checks up the 11 car. That allows now the 13 machine of Zach Gordon to get some of those positions that he maybe lost a little bit earlier with that save. Out in front, though, Riley Duncan leading the way over Andrew Payne. Payne once again up into P number 2, putting pressure on the race leader. Jaden Kratachi here putting pressure on Stephen Hoffman for 4th. Kratachi has to be pretty quick with his moves here because he has a very fast Zach Nichols right there on his tail tank. Kratachi now looking to the outside of Hoffman here off of turn number 2. Can he complete the pass here on the 86 machine? Has the fresh rubber, but has to go around the long way here. Hoffman doing a great job hanging onto that position with those fresh tires right behind him. Off of turn number 2, this seems to be the trouble point there. You see Jeff Dillon getting sideways. As we get a caution on the speedway, it looks like, oh, that is Stephen Hoffman around. And it looks like Hoffman may have gotten some help there. You can see the damage there to the 86 car. And yeah, it looks like Jaden Kratachi with some sort of damage. He will park that car. And yeah, contact between the 11 and the 86 will bring out the caution here. And it looks like leaders coming on down. So that second half strategy might be coming on out here as Zach Nichols staying on out. Jeff Pogo, Pete Dillon, TJ Hassan. Everyone else, though, down on pit road here. So a little over 2/3 of the way done through this race here. And Zach Nichols once again to the point. As it looks like Ron Hart will get the lucky dog, will get back on the lead lap there in the 51 machine. Riley Duncan, the first car off of pit road here. I believe 2 tires for the 97. Same with the 13, Andrew Payne. First car with 4 fresh tires out here tonight. That time by, I believe it's going to be 2 to green here. As it looks like the first car with fresh tires looks like we'll be restarting about the 7th position. Riley Duncan will start 7th, 8th Zach Core, 9th Andrew Payne. 10th is Hayden Swank. Then in front of Duncan, starting 6th is the 37 machine of Donald Castillo. 5th going to Dan Dill. 4th TJ Hassan. Pete Dillon back into the top 5. He sits 3rd. Jeff Pogo starting on the outside of the front row. And it's going to be Zach Nichols leading the way back to the green flag out here tonight. So lights are out once again here at Richmond. Next time by, going to be going green flag racing here. Zach Nichols back to the point, but only about 3 rows back sits those fresh tires. How much will those tires matter? About a 25 lap advantage. We're going to find out here as we get back to turning these super late models loose. The iRacing pace car heads down pit road. Zach Nichols will wait. Now fires on off, and we go back to green flag racing. Nichols away with a great jump over the field. Everyone else trying to get themselves sorted. We got to keep an eye on these fresh tires. How can they slice and dice their way through the field? As so far, Riley Duncan making his way quickly up into that top 5 here. Further on back, 3 wide for a second, as Zach Coyer almost stuck his nose there in the middle. Everyone trying to hang on to the positions out here. Oh, heads up and heads up. Oh man, the 37 machine goes around on the backstretch. And man, how did no one tag him, as he will come to a stop right in the racing lane. And once again, bring out yet another caution, as Castillo will get that car rocking and rolling. And I believe did have some help there, I believe from the 98 car. So quickly back to the caution out here tonight. So once again, with that, I don't think anyone else really going to be coming down pit road. So once again, let's speed up the show. We'll head to caution, or excuse me, commercial. Back on the other side, we'll get ready for yet another restart here at Richmond. Alrighty, folks, we come back here to Richmond, and it is 1-2 green once again. As Jeff Pogo did, in fact, come down pit road there, so Pogo will start about the 14th position. That'll put Pete Dillon once again on the front row here tonight, but it's going to be Zach Nichols in control of yet another restart here. Now Nichols has those fresh tires right behind him. How can he fend them on off? As here we go once again, we head back to green flag racing here. The field diving down here into turn number 1. Looks like some cars spreading on out here. As old contact there, Dan Dill goes around, same with TJ Hassan. Oh man, John DeMeester having nowhere to go. Eric Holly will get a piece of it as well, and that will bring out yet another caution as Hassan, no back clip to that 41 machine. That thing's gonna be a handful. Dan Dill looks like, at least if he for sure got some damage from that. Looks like all on the back end of the 11 car. And the 11 of Dill definitely did get some help. Same with the 41 of Hassan. Hassan was the first one to go around, then clipped the 11, and from there it was just chaos. As it looks like the 98 does tap on the roof there, so Ian Martin will head towards the back of the field there, taking the claim for that one there on lap 86. So once again, the field is slowed on up. It looks like now the 66 of Stephen Rochfort will get the lucky dog, so he'll go around on the high side. Now we'll make it once again 20 cars on the lead lap. We had 30 cars take the green flag, and I believe at the moment only about 21 of them still involved. Quite a few cars got taken out there on that opening lap. Since then, about one car per caution dropping out of the race with damage. So tonight, of course, the series is at the Richmond Raceway to kick off race number 2 next week. These drivers will try and tame a track we haven't seen in a long time on the schedule. That will be Stafford Motor Speedway for, I think, another 125 lappers. So it will be really fun to see these guys back at Stafford. I believe this league, ASRC, only has been there about 1 or 2 times in its history. So it should be interesting to go on back there, see what kind of racing action we get. You can be a part of the racing action on Tuesday nights, and of course, broadcast happening on Thursday nights here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. So once again, caution lights shut on off. We will try and turn them loose here once again. Zach Nichols, Pete Dillon on the front row. Then right behind them, fresh tires of Riley Duncan, Andrew Payne. And in row number 3, it's Hayden Swink, Tanner Tallarico. Anyone can still win this race, but may have to get around the toughest guy leading the way. As the iRacing Pace truck here heads down pit road, Zach Nichols fires off nice and early, gets away with a great start out here in the field, and we go back to green flag racing here. Field will dive down here into turn number 1. And I believe everyone so far so good. As Zach Nichols leads away, Riley Duncan up into second, Hayden Swink in third, Andrew Payne trying to get around Pete Dillon for that 4th position. Oh, as one car big time sideways into the wall there. That is TJ Hassan. Hassan, a big time hit to that race car, and that will bring out yet another caution out here tonight. And that car probably gonna have to go behind the wall there as he got sideways and then hit the inside front stretch wall here. And you can kind of see it there. We'll try and get a better shot maybe as some of the cars go by. Yeah, you can see the black marks heading right to that wall, and that is a big time hit for the 41 car. So with some back-to-back cautions here, once again, we're going to speed things on up, head to a quick commercial break. On the other side, we'll get back to green flag racing here.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
So lights once again out on the Richmond Raceway. It's going to be Zach Nichols, Riley Duncan on the front row. Both those cars have led laps here. And here we go. We head back to green flag racing with about 30 laps left in this one. Field will make its way down through turns 1 and 2 now. Hayden Swing trying to take over P number 2. Duncan big time sideways there off of turn number 2. Will hang on to the race car there, but may lose P number 2 to Swing. Right behind them, Andrew Payne sits there. Tanner Tallarico, rebound for him here tonight. He finds himself up in the top 5. Further on back through the field, sideways here, Devin McDonald in the 37 machine made contact. Somehow McDonald there in the 18 able to hang on to that race car. Man, that could have been very, very bad. Everyone keeping their race cars facing in the right direction. Last time by, fastest car by anyone all night long. That is the one machine of Tanner Tallarico. Tallarico, a man on a mission. What can he do here tonight? As this time by, we will see about 26 laps to go here. And next time by, we'll head down into the countdown clock as 3 wide looking for a second. Once again, this 37 machine trying to make the high side work. As he gets a little bit loose there, able to keep that race car underneath him. But now, this time by 25 laps left in this one. Stephen Roachford getting that lucky dog. He is able to race his way up into the top 10. He currently sits 10, taking that spot away from Ron Hart. Out in front, though, it is Zach Nichols leading the way over those fresh tires of Hayden Swank, Andrew Payne, Riley Duncan, all sitting right there. Zach Hoyer a little bit sideways here, trying to get around the 86 of Stephen Hoffman. Or able to complete the pass there. Now Ian Martin trying to maybe try and do the same here. And Zach Nichols may start to see some lap traffic here. Right in front of them, Jeff Pogo sits. Pogo, I think, got spun around on the apron on the front stretch, able to get that car rolling, but no caution flag for that. But he is in big time danger of going one lap down. Here towards the mid pack here, Jamie Leach, Donald Castillo side by side. This is a battle for the 12th position here, right behind Ron Hart. The 11 car, Dan Dill, involved with some big time hits. He's able to get that car rolling as, contact here. John DeMeester stopped on the front stretch, and leaders are involved. I believe the 2 car may have gotten some help from our leader, Zach Nichols. Then behind them, chaos ensues as Riley Duncan taking that car pit side. He's probably done for the night. Nichols now has some damage on the right front. Same with the 91 of Andrew Payne. He has some damage from that. So a lot of the front runners question marks with their race cars, as John DeMeester, that car badly wounded, and we'll probably have to call it a night here with that. As he will take that 2 car here pit side, and I think all 4 corners on that race car have some sort of damage. Definitely not the night the 2 car wanted to kick off the season with. So here with this caution, I believe that puts now only 17 cars on the lead lap out here tonight. Last car to be that is Jeff Pogo. Pogo getting the lucky timed caution, not going 1 lap down, so he's able to stay on the lead lap. Should be interesting to see what he can do in these closing stages, see what he can try and bounce back with. Out in front, Zach Nichols currently leading the way. I believe Nichols, with the amount laps led he has currently, I think going to walk away with the most laps led. Actually, no, has not passed Jaden Kurtachi yet in the laps led count. So that still goes to the 11 car that currently sits in the 24th position. So yeah, some of these drivers that had a tough night number 1, like Dave Payton, Matt Kemp, Tim Rogers, even, Matt Vade, Chuck Darling, Jaden Kurtachi, they do all have in their back pocket a drop week. You hate to use it week number 1, but if they can string together the rest of the season, they still have a chance here. As this time by, I believe, going to get the 1 to go signal. Zach Nichols going to choose the inside lane here on the restart. And question marks surrounding this top 3. What kind of damage do these race cars have, all involved in that last incident? As here we go, it's going to be a Nichols Payne front row restart as we get ready to turn them on loose once again. Zach Nichols on the loud pedal. We head back to green flag racing with now only 16 laps to go. Hayden Swain quickly jumping up into P number 2. Andrew Payne way off the pace up in lane number 2. I think that's more than just being out of the preferred lane. Yeah, that 91 car not driving right, so Andrew Payne not going to have a chance at the checkered flag here as we get a battle for the race lead heading into turn number 1. Hayden Swank to the inside of Zach Nichols. Can he steal this one away here with 15 laps to go? Swank will drive it down into turn number 3, almost get clear from the 44 machine. Those two will drag race here down the front stretch and sitting right there in the wings. Tanner Tallarico had those issues opening up the night, has since rebounded, sitting in a great spot here. As man, Zach Nichols trying to drive the wheels off that 44 machine, taps the wall, maybe gets forced up there a little bit, but new race leader Hayden Swank takes over the point here with 13 to go. Swank leads the way now. Tanner Tallarico will take over P number 2. Nichols will fall back to P number 3. And look at this, our pole sitter, Pete Dillon. He has rebounded into the top 5. And Ian Martin, he's been involved in a lot of stuff here tonight. And Martin sits in the top 5, trying to get some more. He'll go to the inside of the 7 into turn number 1. Side-by-side battle for P number 4. As, oh man, Martin, Dillon just made contact. Luckily, not enough to send the car around, but that is getting into dangerous territory. You cannot touch, quarter panels here in these super late models. You can maybe tap the bumper a little bit if you can hit the driver in front of you nice and square, but anytime you tap a quarter panel in these race cars, that car is going right around here. Further towards the back here, Jeff Pogo making his way through the field, restarted in the 17th position, now trying to get around Ron Hart for 12th. So Jeff Pogo trying to make his way through the field. We can see where Andrew Payne has fallen to with that ill-handling race car. He is outside the top 10, currently sitting in 11th. Last time by, we saw 10 to go. Now make it single-digit laps to go. It is 9 to go here at Richmond. Furthest up battle on the speedway here. Stephen Rochford trying to get around the other Stephen, that is Stephen Hoffman. Both these guys with some damage on their cars here. Just trying to get a good enough finish to walk away here tonight. Both of them sit inside the top 10, currently running 7th and 8th. As up towards the front though, Ian Martin getting around Zach Nichols. Same with the 7 car of Pete Dillon. So Dillon back up into a podium spot as Zach Nichols will try the crossover move here on the 98. Martin having a cleaner race car will probably have the advantage. Can he get clear of Nichols? No, he cannot by the time they get into turn number 3, but here through 3 and 4, Nichols just has to pinch that race car just a little bit too much as we get a caution flag on the speedway. Dan Dill slow out here and involved in yet another incident. Looks like Dill involved, same with maybe the 90 of Jeremy Watkins. And I believe Ron Hart losing a few spots, so I believe contact between Dan Dill and Ron Hart will bring out the caution here, and that only leaves about a shootout left here tonight. I believe when it's all said and done, we're going to have about a unofficial green-white checkered. There is a green-white checkered in the works in case we need it, but at the moment when this time's on out, it'll probably be about a 2-lap shootout. Man, oh man, that's going to be a wild way to end race number 1. The current top 10 looking like the following. Hayden Swank leading the way. Tanner Tallarico in P number 2. Tallarico was hunting down Swank. Probably did not want to see this caution. Pete Dillon in P number 3. Ian Martin in P number 4. Zach Nichols trying to hang on to P number 5. Zach Coyer sits in 6th. 7th going to Stephen Rochford. 8th is Stephen Hoffman. How about this guy right here, the 37 machine, Donald Castillo, able to get his way back up into the top 10. And then at the moment, The second biggest mover of the night, Jamie Leach, rounding out the top 10 here. The biggest mover at the moment, Zach Coyer here, getting ready for a late race restart here for race number 1. So as we run, I believe 17 cars now on the lead lap. I believe 19 cars still out on the track. Eric Holly still out here clicking laps. Yeah, John DeMeester has retired. Same with Stephen Holmes or Scooter in the number 9. EJ Hassan, we saw that big time hit to him. Andrew Payne coming down on pit road trying to get that car repaired, but looks like we'll restart about the 17th position. But here we go. The lights will go on out with 3 to go. So yeah, with that, we're going to have a green, white checkered. I should say a natural green, white checkered here to maybe end things on off. So with this, if we get a caution under this first green flag lap, we will in fact use that green, white checkered. If we have an incident on the white flag lap, we are racing back to the checkered. So as soon as Hayden Swank or Tanner Tallarico hits that stripe for 1 to go, we are racing back to the checkered here. The iRacing pace car heads on off, and this is a big time restart as Hayden Swank will fire on off. Swank gets away with a great start over the field. That's exactly what he needed to try and win this race. Swank away and checked on out. Now here comes Pete Dillon trying to get around the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. The rest of the field here trying to jockey for any position they can get before it's all said and done. Contact here. Dev McDonald, Dan Dill, Eric Holly involved. As we do see the white flag, we are racing back with some contact. Hayden Swank down the backstretch here for the final time. Tanner Tallarico second. Zach Nichols here trying to hang on to 4th. Pete Dillon may finish. Looks like he will finish on the podium, but it's going to be Hayden Swank picking up the first checkered flag here for the Postma Flooring Super Late Model Series. Man, oh man, a wild way to start the season, but it's going to be this guy up on top here and picking up another ASRC win here and add it to the stat column as Hayden Swank will bring that 35 machine here to the front stretch and burn it on down as Hayden Swank will celebrate here at Richmond. As it looks like he will call it a day without a good little burnout from the 35 machine. So let's head on over to our race results and get people rocking and rolling here out of the stream. So Hayden Swank will win here in race number 1. Tanner Tallarico will finish second. Pete Dillon in the 7 car will round out the podium. Zach Nichols in the 44 will hang on to 4th. 5th going to the 98 of Ian Martin. 6th will be the 13 of Zach Corey. 7th is Stephen Rochefort in the 66. 8th going to Stephen Hoffman in the 86. Donald Castillo in the 37 machine will finish 9th. Jamie Leach in the 22 will finish 10th. Up finishing in 11th is the 199 of Jeff Pogo, and Alex Orions in the 8 car will finish 12th. 13th going to the 51 of Ron Hart. 14th is the 11 of Dan Dill. Rounding out the top 15 is the 91 of Andrew Payne. Jeremy Watkins in the 90 will finish 16th. 17th going to the 18 of Devin McDonald. Finishing in 18th is the 45 car of Andrew Hardings. 19th is Eric Holly in the 5. Stephen Holmes in the 9 car will finish 20th. 21st going to Riley Duncan. 22nd is John DeMeester. 23rd is TJ Hassan. 24th is Jaden Kratacci. Coming home in 25th is Matt Vade. 26th is Chuck Darling. 27th going to Matt Kemp. 28th is Tim Rogers. Finishing in 29th is Dave Payton. And then it is Chase Swink that did not make the call to the grid. And that will do it here, folks, for race number 1. If you want to find out more, stay up to date, check out American Sim Racing Club on Facebook. And like I said, You guys want to be a part of the Racing Action Tuesday nights is where it goes on down. It's going to be a good one. Next week, we head to Stafford. That's going to be a fun one to watch. So thanks again, everyone, tuning on in here tonight. We look forward to seeing you next week. And everyone, take care, stay safe, have a great rest of your week. Also, with Turn Through Racing Network, we are partnered with Premier Setups. You can check them out with the link in the description. That'll take you over to their website. Whether you want to buy a setup or anything else they have to offer, they have a lot of good stuff to offer. A click would go a long way and show our support as they support us. So, yeah, that would do it. Everyone, take care, stay safe, have a great weekend. And yeah, we'll catch you in 1 week's time. So I've been Brett the Jet in the booth, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.